Joe Hazuka here on Hazuka's High Density Horticulture. We're back in Mesa, Arizona, talking about environmental factors impacting plant growth. Today we're talking about light and temperature. Whether you're growing fruits, vegetables, legumes, they all require adequate light and they all want a certain temperature. Some such as mulberry and okra want a lot of sun and heat, whereas others such as blackberry and Swiss chard may not need as much. Always research the plant that you are considering growing and its requirements. Also note that even though it might say full sun on the label, might not necessarily mean full sun where you're at. Here in Phoenix, Arizona, when it says full sun on a plant that you purchase from Home Depot or Lowe's, that equates to afternoon shade around 11 o'clock or noon here for most plants that you buy from the store. That being said, there is a laundry list of plants that do well in full blast sun here, okay? There's a link on my page that discusses some of those trees and plants that do not need as much, that can take full blast sun here without any issue. So, some other things that are important to discuss is, shading and protecting your trees, okay, whether it be temporary or whether it be forever. So this is my mature olive tree that was here when I moved in. As you can see, there's a croton here. This croton, unfortunately here in Arizona, will never be able to take full blast sun. So it is planted here under this tree, gets filtered sun, it's very healthy. And it does very well. Another example is this Savannah cherry. The Savannah cherry, it doesn't like direct sun anyway, but it'll never be able to take full blast direct sun here in Arizona, okay? This avocado, might only need a year or two protection from the sun here, but when it gets nice and mature, it should be able to take quite a bit of sun here in Arizona. This tree, I believe, is around 2 years old. I wish someone would have told me how to trim it to begin with, because it probably been a foot taller. But, everything you see here is trial and error. Passion fruit vine. A lot of people told me that it would take full sun, although the area of it that was in full sun essentially all died this last year because we had 60 days over 110. This other part that's in the shade, doing very well. So, and I actually got about a dozen fruit or so off of it this year. So, there's a lot of different considerations to take. If you are using shade for your plants and it's just temporary, you can use something if you want to go cheap. I'm very cheap myself. I just use burlap sacks. There's a lot of people that will throw out their outdoor furniture, and some of that outdoor furniture has like a mesh that they use for the chairs. I've been known to cut that off and use that as a shade fabric. You can purchase, 70, 80, 90% shade cloth. That's probably what most people would do. But I'm super cheap. I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. I'm growing these plants to save money. I want to save more money. So, if it's just temporary shade, you can make a structure like I did here with this blue Java banana the first year, because it does get more sun being on this part of the fence. And so I just used a couple of 8-foot spikes, and I attached these prongs that you could then put a shade cloth across the side of it, and then I also put it over the top of it for the first year. As you can see, it is about 18 months old, and now it doesn't need any protection. It's like, I'm protecting myself. Look at that, that's crazy. Anyway, the more mature your trees get, the less protection they will need. This lime tree was being shaded out by two massive ficus trees that used to exist here. They were probably 40 feet tall and a little mangy. The previous owners didn't keep up with them. That's easy to do here because they grow so fast. But as soon as we freed it from the suppression of those ficus, it went out of control. This thing has gone absolutely batshit crazy. It's probably at least 20 feet tall. I get a bushel of, look at all these lines. They're everywhere. But again, it was being shaded temporarily. As soon as we took out those ficus trees, it went absolutely nuts. It looked all dwindly 2 years ago. Now look at it. Can't stop me. It's a beast. I have to cut this thing back 3 or 4 times a year, and I don't cut it back like a small amount. It's painful. The thorns are hideous, but I get a lot of limes from it. We make lots of margaritas. Come on over. I'll give you my address. But again, once they get more mature, then they're able to handle the heat a lot easier.